War Eagle War Report family, I'm your host C-Dub, and college football returns this week officially and finally. And everyone is here to discuss and preview each SEC game this upcoming week for week one. And we'll be previewing Auburn versus Akron and be giving our actual score predictions for that game later on in the show. So you don't want to miss that. But for now, sit back, get your weight up, because we are entering the war room.
You are now listening to the War Report. Wednesday night War Room. Brought to you by Auburn Sports.com. Ike Jones. B. Will. C. Mike G. Let's go!
War Eagle again, everyone. War Eagle again. Happy Wednesday. Thanks again for tuning in to the latest Wednesday Night War Room, brought to you in partnership by our good friends at auburnsports.com. If you need the latest regarding Auburn news around the football program, Auburn athletics, as well as updates in recruiting, auburnsports.com is your go-to source. Please be sure to check them out. Gladly appreciate that. Now, shout out to our War Report family. Thank you guys for spending yet another Wednesday night with us, or at least part of your Wednesday night with us. And we need your help to help us to grow our community. How can you do that? By sharing the video on social media. Please use hashtag #GetYourWeightUp. That helps us out and helps out others looking for Auburn content leading up to the football season. And if you're here and you want to know how you can be a part of the War Report family, Mike G has some special instructions for how you can do that. Take it away, Mike.
Hey, listen, I told y'all before, become an insider. There's lots of benefits to this. We are doing some great things for our insider this football season. So join as an insider. You don't want to miss our game day experience, pregame, halftime, postgame. We also are coming at you guys with a Monday film review. Our man Ike is going to be chopping up film with me on a Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Doing the weekend in review to look at the film and see some key points and really bring you guys a different view than you've gotten before on a weekly basis. You guys know the drill with all the other insider content. There's tons of reasons to become an insider. One of those reasons is ticket giveaways. Congratulations to our guy, Jeb Shaner. If you see Jeb in the comments, congratulate him. He is the winner of our second set of tickets we've given away to the ASU game. So Jeb will be going to the game on the War Report. Thank you, Jeb, for being a member of our community. Listen, if you want to win tickets, again, become an insider. We're giving away tickets to the Georgia State game now. So you guys got a little bit longer on this one since we got Penn State sandwiched in between Alabama State and Georgia State. So sign up as an insider, and you are automatically guaranteed 3 entries into this raffle for tickets to the Georgia State game. We're happy to be able to do this for you guys. I feel like Santa Claus tonight. Listen, we're giving away a mug. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments. We are barely a couple minutes into this, and we already got 45 entries into this. You guys started dropping hashtags before the show started. I love it. All those count. So again, hashtag get your weight up. Check your spelling. Make sure it's right. And enter to win a mug. We're going to draw at the 1 hour mark.
Appreciate that. I sound all right, guys?
Yeah.
Good.
Sound good.
Okay. Awesome. How are y'all feeling, man? It's finally here. Week 1 is here. We're about 3 days away from the Brian Harsin era starting off. B. Will, talk to me, man. How are you feeling on a Wednesday night, man?
It hadn't hit me yet. We've been talking about Auburn and kind of sort of Akron. We've been talking about us for 8 months. We analyzed every move, and it just feels like I'll believe it. It will feel like it on Saturday morning when I wake up and I turn on game day and I look and see all the crowds in Auburn. When I see those cars coming in that long line coming down College Street, then it'll be real. I feel like we're getting close, but it doesn't feel real yet. Game day though, that's when it's real.
Talk to me, Mike G. How are you feeling, man, about this?
It's a long time coming. This is the longest offseason in sports. We have analyzed Auburn up, down, left, right, to China and back. We have gone over every stat. We've brought on every single guest. We have broken down the film. We've talked to former players. We've talked to current staff. It is time for football. I am ready to see the fruition of all this hard work these men have been putting in the offseason. I hope it pays off on Saturdays in wins or at least improvement. So I'm ready to go.
All right. Talk to me, man. You muted.
Oh,
it would help if I unmuted. Yeah, I was saying I'm just ready to get to. I have to make sure I stay muted because my son is here doing everything he can to make as much noise as possible. So I'm trying not to be disruptive. But yeah, man, we're ready to get to it.
Well, listen, the majority of you guys who have come on have not actually been through a regular season with us. So you're not familiar with how we tend to do previews leading up to the season. So what we're going to do, we actually do an SEC preview. Sometimes we'll venture out of the conference if it's a huge game that can have an impact on the college football landscape, but we typically like to keep it within the conference and do our actual conference previews. So what we'll do is we'll just fly through this, give our ideas and opinions, prediction in terms of the outcome, but we'll give our general thoughts. This is how we used to have our usual banter. We usually talk about teams, make fun of teams, say what it's, talk trash, whatever. This is us in our bench itself. So let's get into it. First game, we're going to go from least interesting to the most interesting game. Of course, we have a separate segment where we'll talk about Akron and Auburn separately, but we're going to talk starting out East Tennessee State University versus Vanderbilt, a directional Tennessee school versus Vandy.
Directional.
I mean, that's what it is. Let's just call it what it is. Kind of a snooze fest, but how are we feeling about this? I'll start with you, Ike.
Yeah, I have no interest in this game whatsoever, Vandy.
That brings us to B.
Man, usually I don't even care about these games, but I haven't looked at East Tennessee State at all because if they are like decent, they might beat Vandy. So I mean, this could be dicey. But
I'm gonna feel real bad if an SEC school lose to East Tennessee State, man. I'm sorry, no disrespect to East. I don't care. It's still an SEC school, man. If they're
not really,
listen,
and I doubt they play
an opportunity to compete at all in our conference, they better not lose this game.
But they don't have an opportunity to compete.
I said compete. I didn't say win.
No, I don't think they have an opportunity to compete.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to interrupt all this. Listen, Vandy, I hope this is their one win of the first half of the season. Yeah,
one of two wins.
This is going to be one of those things where it's like, all right, Vandy. Let's see how bad they're going to be.
Yeah, listen. I mean, I'm gonna say the words Vandy, but I'm not saying it with any conviction. I'm just gonna say Vandy. All right.
I don't think this is the school that Eddie George is the coach of. This is East Tennessee State. This ain't Tennessee State or Tennessee Tech.
No, it's Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Tennessee State, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are even trying to give credit where it's not even due here. Vandy better win this game. Moving on.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to another interesting game that we've been talking about and looking forward to. Eastern Illinois versus South Carolina. Another new coach begins his start in the SEC. I'm going South Carolina.
Yeah, you know what? My eyes are gonna be on this one because number one, we got to play them and they beat us last year. Mm-hmm. Now they did fire their coach, but I am going to be watching to see what they look like to open the season. I mean, they essentially went through what we went through, right? Fired your coach last year, and now a new guy has come in, and he's going to try to do some different things. So I'm actually going to pay attention to this one to just see if they look competent. They look like they've taken to the new system. I mean, we're going to see some of this in the new season. So I'm picking South Carolina.
The only reason this game even became interesting is the fact that their grad assistant is playing quarterback for them. Outside of that,
that's been the headline. That's been definitely the headline this week for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Outside of that, there's no way Eastern Illinois should even compete in this game. South Carolina.
Facts.
Still don't care, B?
No, not at all. No.
Fair enough.
I don't care that them beating us was an embarrassment for us. That's not a boon for them. They are still terrible.
It's not a boon. I just want to see them fail more often than I want to see them succeed. But in this case, I am picking them to win.
Right. So you picking them?
They got to win something. So
I'm picking South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
We all are.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on then. Rice versus Arkansas. Talk to me, Mike. What?
This is another one, right? I'm telling you, these games are super interesting because, number one, we got to play a lot of the teams that we're talking about here in this first segment. But I'm going to be watching Arkansas to see how they're taking to what they're trying to do over there. I'm taking Arkansas on this one, and they should win it pretty easily. But how they win it is what I'm going to be looking at. So definitely Arkansas. I got Arkansas on this one.
Be Will.
Yes, same. I got Arkansas, and I want to watch this game specifically because I want to see improvement. I want to see them maintain some quality play at quarterback, which I get it. Felipe Franks wasn't, Mac Jones, but he was better than I thought. Because he was bad at Florida, he came here and he got better. I'm going to take that to mean there is a quality offensive coaching staff there. And actually, it's Kendall Browse.
Right. So
I do think they'll continue their quality play. And I want to see them dominate to know how I'm going to ride them for the rest of the season. So, yeah, I'm taking Arkansas.
Is it too premature to ask this question, B? Did they need to tune in for a special this is where you need to pub what you got coming up, sir?
Yeah, betting with B will be out there on YouTube. We'll probably drop that Friday morning. No, Friday afternoon. Excuse me, Friday afternoon. We're gonna have all the games. Everything's gonna be ready for you. And just tune in. If you're an insider, you're gonna get the entire conference's picks. If you're not an insider, we'll still give you a little snippet of what I'm thinking. But hey, by all means, y'all make y'all own picks. I'm gonna give you the info and what I think, and we want y'all to join in and tell us what you think as well. So Friday afternoon, be looking for that.
Ike, what you got for this game, man?
Arkansas, yeah. Only reason this is even interesting is there are people who feel as if Arkansas can actually compete this year in the SEC, and I want to see how that offense comes out and plays. I have the Arkansas defense actually has been playing better over the last couple of years, right? So I think that if they can continue stellar defensive play. And they have an offense that feels adept. Remember, they are having a new quarterback start this year, right?
Right.
But if they turn Felipe Franks into a serviceable quarterback, there's no telling what they'll be able to do with a new guy who is more handpicked by the coaches. So we'll see. But I will go with Arky for the win.
I'm going Arky here as well. I am interested to see if their passing offense does take another step or takes a step back with Felipe Franks gone. So we'll definitely keep our eyes out on Arky. The next game up is La Monroe at Kentucky. Ike, you look real interested in this game.
I mean, the betting lines aside, I still have Kentucky. I just don't know. I have zero confidence that Kentucky can score points right now, right? Like they just seem to be a mess offensively. I don't actually know what their offensive game plan is going to be. They have a new offensive coordinator. They, quarterback situation, no clue what's going on there. We definitely know that they're not going to be running something that is built for a very large dual threat quarterback because they just got rid of one or one just left the school there. So clearly whatever they're doing offensively will not be fitting Joey Gatewood's style of play. So I am interested to see how they're going to perform offensively. They had a bunch of talent leave off of their offensive line. So I don't even know what Kentucky's going to look like this year. Louisiana Monroe has been a spoiler before for SEC schools. I just don't think it's going to happen this Saturday. Kentucky.
Be Will.
Yeah, same, man. Kentucky. LA Monroe was one of the 5 worst teams in college football last year. They got Bowden, and actually Rich Rod is the OC down there. But
dang, he hustling backwards.
You don't have talent. Yeah. So Rich Rod has actually
What has Rich Rodriguez been doing the last couple of years?
Hustling backwards.
He got fired from Arizona for like some
Right.
scandal, right?
Yeah, that's been a while since he was at Arizona. So
He
I'm like,
has gotten a worse job every job he's gotten.
ever since he didn't get the job at Alabama,
It's
he's
going
just been
downhill.
going down. He's been going downhill.
Yeah,
He faked it for a couple of years in Michigan, and then everybody, So there's nothing to be worried about here. Kentucky, I don't know who they are and what they're gonna do, but LA Monroe ain't got nothing for him. So Kentucky.
But we'll talk about that on betting review. I'm about to say the points though. I don't have no clue. 31 is a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Anyway,
Mike.
Yeah, I'm going Kentucky. Kentucky is one of those teams that every once in a while, everybody wants them to be good. They get a little hype. They'll be ranked at some point in the season, kind of climb the rankings. It was either last season or season before last. They actually got like halfway up the top 25 before they started falling like a rock.
it was not last season because game one.
Yeah, I think it was. I was thinking it was the season before. It was
3 seasons ago.
I say it was either 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yeah. Every once in a while it happens.
People showing them love now in preseason. So
yeah, I mean, listen, Gatewood transferred out, so I'll be interested to see if the guy that they did pick does well. Again, just eyes on this one. They're sneaky and could pull up a big upset in conference every once in a while. So, but I got Kentucky. 31 is a lot.
that is a lot for Kentucky.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you there.
Did
I
they
am
even
going to
score 31 points last year at any point. Like I just don't know where this is from. But anyway, I mean, it was all SEC, but still. Anyway,
But LA Monroe is really bad. Really bad. That's part of this.
Kentucky's pretty bad too. But all right.
We'll see. Another first-year coach gets his start this Saturday up at Rocky Top. Bowling Green comes to Tennessee. What are we thinking, Mike G?
A plus 35. Wow, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Bowling Green on this one.
To win the
You're
game.
gonna pick the upset against Tennessee.
Wait. You picking them to do what? You're picking them to do what exactly? Cover?
Yeah, I would pick up the cover. I mean,
Okay. You got to be.
I'll say what?
Tennessee is a whole mess,
Wait,
man.
Is Shankopotamus in the comments before I say what I have to say?
I think I saw him.
Okay, because Bowling Green is awful, and we have their ex-quarterback. So I'm picking Tennessee.
But you could say that they are awful because we took their quarterback.
No, he was bad.
He was so important to what they did.
Bad. He was bad. He was bad when he played for them too.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, Tennessee, but whatever here. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went out and laid an egg. They went out and they got Heupel, right? Out of
Josh Heupel.
Out of UCF. Right, yeah. So he brings in competent offensive coaching, but they had a mass exodus of players. And I'm just wondering what year one's going to look like for them. So, again, this is one of these compelling first week stories. Even though it's not a sexy matchup, we're going to be watching to see how another first-year SEC head coach is going to do in his debut.
And I'm curious to see what their receivers look like because there's a certain person.
Oh, yeah.
There's a certain person coaching receivers there now. So,
yeah. Hey, listen, we heard that guy worked
but he
for
worked
a guy.
for a guy.
He worked for a guy. So now
we get to see what he's gonna do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing. I'm waiting to see. Ike B, y'all got anything different here, or is it pretty much Tennessee all the way? We don't have to belabor this because I got Tennessee as well.
They lost a ton of talent, but I just don't want to see an SEC school lose to a team like Bowling Green. So I have to pick Tennessee just off the strength of the conference.
Tennessee's not going to lose, man. They're not going to lose.
I don't think they cover, but I think they win.
Yeah.
I'm so, but they're not going to lose. So Tennessee.
Okay. Now for a beatdown of epic proportions. Kent State goes to Texas A&M.
A&M. I'm just watching to see how they're doing with new quarterback, all new offensive line. Right?
Is Woody Barrett still at Kent State?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but this will be interesting to see. I mean, they're number 6 in the preseason. Despite the fact that I think they're going to win, I'm just wondering how they're going to look with all that they have to replace. But Texas A&M here.
I got Texas A&M winning this game. Texas A&M's defense is too good. They're too good. I just don't think Kent State, despite having a potent offense last year, I just don't think that they can keep up with the defense that Texas A&M is going to put on the field. So it's Texas A&M.
Do you agree, B, or you got different thoughts on here? I know how you feel about Jimothy. So what would?
I mean, listen, he is not an absolute fraud. You know what I'm saying? He can beat teams when he has more talent, and he definitely has more talent. Now, Kent State scored the most points in the FBS last year, but he started back, and the other two people who aren't back are people who had already gotten snaps. So nothing to worry about here. They'll win.
I got A&M as well. Let's move on. La Tech versus Mississippi State. Ike.
Yeah, I still have to go Mississippi State. La Tech, they've been, again, one of those teams that tends to play spoiler every now and then, but I just don't think it happens this Saturday. Mississippi State. Yeah.
B. Will?
Yeah, Mississippi State will win.
Yeah, Mississippi State, but I got a question. Is this year 2 or 3 of the Mike Leach?
2.
This is year 2, right? Yeah. So again, Mr. Throw it 60 times a game. I just want to see what that offense is going to look like, because this is another team we got to face off against later in the season. So
it's just weird seeing Mississippi State being that team. But anyway,
yeah, right.
It is definitely different. Yeah. Man, hold on. We talked about Texas A&M. B. Will, you didn't talk about your man Jimothy getting his raise. You didn't want to talk about?
Man, why? What's the point? They're gonna keep paying him. I'm gonna say he didn't deserve it. They're gonna pay him. He gonna win double-digit wins next year, and they're gonna pay him. He gonna lose, 5 games 2 years after that, but they're gonna pay him. It don't matter, man. They so desperate to be decent that they had to get the guy who was closest to a quality coach that they could. Jimothy fits the bill for them. Whatever. I'm glad they happy.
Central Michigan at Missouri. What you got, my G?
Yeah. Again, doesn't look sexy on paper. I got Missouri in this one. I think they cover as well, too. Quarterback play has been solid at Missouri over the last few years.
But defense has been trash.
Terrible. Awful.
Yeah.
But they'll have enough offense to win this game, Missouri, and they cover.
Yeah, I'm going to go Missouri as well. Central Michigan, they were good a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't think they still have any of that magic left on that roster to come out here and pull off this win, just because, as Mike said, that offense in Missouri has been – Connor Bazelak was out there lighting people up last year, and I don't think that stops. So, Missouri.
B?
I am so close to picking an upset.
Okay. Come with the
They returned 21 starters between both sides of the ball.
Central Michigan?
Central Michigan does. And not that this is necessarily a huge plus, Jim McElwain is their coach. Now, that doesn't mean that they're a great team. What it does mean is this is year 3 for him. At Colorado State, they were 4-8 the first year, and the third year they were 10-2. When he first got this job, they won that conference that year, or their division. Improvement is possible. I don't take 2020 with too much weight. I'm close, because I don't think Missouri is that good. I think their coach just talks real big, and everybody's kind of buying it. But
I like
I'm gonna say Missouri.
So
I'm gonna say Missouri, but
I like Drinkwitz too. But
yeah.
Okay. But I also don't think that lowly of Jimbo. But we see how you feel about it too. So, my G, did you already go?
Yeah, Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, Missouri.
I think we're all in agreement in Missouri here. Let's go down to the swamp with Florida, FAU. I got Florida. Any different feelings here? What you got?
I got Florida. I just want to say, through these first few games, it just highlights, if you didn't change a coach, we got brand new starting quarterbacks all over the league. I mean, there are some different things happening in the SEC. This is not 2020's SEC. So Emory Jones, all eyes on him. I thought he performed well in the little time that he got called to action when Trask was out. So, yeah, Florida, they cover. I believe in what Dan Mullen's is doing on offense down there. He's clearly a competent offensive coach.
Agreed. Yeah,
Florida's going to win this game. They didn't what's the only thing that's interesting for me about this game, not that FAU is going to be some potent running team. I do want to see what Florida's defense is going to look like, because they were awful defensively last year and they did not look to get very much better. If their upgrades, no disrespect to Tyrone Truesdale, was Truesdale plugging their interior defensive line
and Newkirk,
then, and I saw what they did last year defensively on the line. And then I'm not buying them as a great defensive team yet, but I don't think FAU is the team to challenge that. But I'm going to pick Florida to win, but I am interested to see how that defense performs.
do they cover?
Oh, that's a good question. I think so. I think they can put up enough points to cover. That's me having limited knowledge of what FAU can do offensively. Like, I haven't paid attention to them since Lane Kiffin left. So,
Mike G,
Florida. Yeah, I pick Florida.
Yeah. B, you ain't got to talk. You ain't got to tell if they cover or not. That's for later. But who you got winning?
Florida gonna win. But I'm like, all right, I want to see somebody who can run the ball against them, because I want to see what that D line looks like.
I'm ready to see if Emory Jones becomes that guy this year for Florida as well. So I'm keeping an eye on them as well. So Louisville versus Ole Miss. Louisville struggled last year. So, but they still have this as a pretty tight game. I'm going Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss covers this game as well. But go ahead, Mike.
Mine is, this is a little tight.
I'm shocked at this line, actually.
Yeah. Like this is in reverse here. I really think, for what is supposed to be the best returning starting quarterback in the league, by a lot of people's measure, I'm surprised at this line here. I go Ole Miss. I go Ole Miss. I think they cover, but it might be interesting going into the third quarter.
Yeah, I just don't know where the confidence in Louisville's coming from. They weren't that great last year.
No.
Ole Miss's offense was amazing last year, and
didn't they
another
get the
year
coach,
in that system.
Didn't they get the coach from App State or something a couple of years back or something like that? He came from some lower tier school where he was successful, but laid a huge egg.
I just don't know where that comes from. So, Ole Miss.
B?
Ole Miss. Same reason everybody else said.
Let's move on. LSU. We're getting into the top three games here. LSU goes on the road against UCLA. How are we feeling about this? This is tight. They got this is a tight one.
This still what you call it? Coaching at UCLA.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly. I dislike him strongly. So I'm definitely. This is tight, right? I'm going LSU here, but this is a vote for Max Johnson. And the now sophomore receiver they got out there, I think his last name is Butte or Booty. He went for 300 yards in an SEC game last year as a freshman, and it was an impressive 300 yards. He was burning people deep, short. Him and Max Johnson had something real special going on last year. So this could be a very dynamic connection this year. LSU seems to be doing really well producing receivers over the last few years. So I'm going LSU here, but I like LSU by 10 in this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think Max Johnson did well last year.
You talk about Max Johnson, but that this kid they brought in, I've been hearing he's been lighting it up in fall camp. So we could see him play a little bit as well. Who knows? Probably maybe not in this game, but I think LSU does win this game. But B, what you think?
UCLA.
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Here's the thing. Mike has often told us, especially on By the Numbers, about how LSU's
for the record.
Offensive, excuse me, I'm sorry. Man, that's what we were going to call it first. Anyway, LSU's offensive line was not really that great, and Joe Burrow had to play under pressure during the championship season. LSU's offensive line has honestly not been good for years now. They just got Arkansas's offensive line coach from Pittman, who is an offensive line coach. So you figure there's got to be an upgrade. They don't really have the personnel. You remember they lost their left tackle and he went to Kentucky. He had some issues as well, like whatever. I don't know that that's fixed. They now have a new offensive coordinator. See, the pass game coordinator, Joe Brady, left last year. He was on last year. Now they actually have a new offensive coordinator, and it's not the same system anymore. So that's a reset. They got a new defensive coordinator. That's a reset. The defense wasn't good in the first place, so maybe that's better because Bo Pelini. So we got a lot of turnover. They've been traveling all week because they can't be at home in Baton Rouge. And they're still going, 12 hours over to Los Angeles? And UCLA already got their warm-up game out of the way. Don't we always hear the most improvement is from week 1 to week 2?
Yeah.
The recipe is I'm not saying they can't put up, LSU can't put up numbers. UCLA's quarterback is not that good. He's overhyped, and they're giving him too much credit just because it's Chip Kelly's system. All right, I will grant you that. But I think they can run the ball. And until they show me otherwise, I don't believe LSU can stop that run.
Yeah, this
so
is the
giving them a chance at home.
This is the most wrong you'll be all year. That's all I got to say about it. Let's move on.
You know what? No. I challenge you. I will be more wrong. I promise. I will be more wrong than this, but I'm not going to be afraid.
Likely. Yeah. LSU. Here.
I'm going to pick LSU to get the W on this one as well. I just think that their offense is going to be good enough to be able to keep up. I'm not convinced that their defense yet, but I still have strong feelings about LSU putting up points. So, yeah.
Let's go to Atlanta for the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic. Alabama and Miami. What we thinking, Mike? What you thinking, my guy?
Man, listen. 19 and a half for a first-year starter in the SEC. The story here is Bryce Young, right? He is the next in what has been a long line of Alabama QBs who have gone on to the next level. So my eyes are going to be here. Yeah, I don't think we're doubting what type of talent they have, but they did replace their offensive coordinator. It's Bill O'Brien now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be interested to see how he fills Sarkisian's shoes. I don't think this game is not going to be about talent. It's going to be about play calling. And on Alabama's side. And so I'm just interested to see how he adapts that system to what is a lot of talent there. I like Alabama. I don't know about 19 and a half, though. I don't know about 19 and a half. I don't know if they cover.
I'm going to be super interested to see how Bryce Young performs in his first one. Miami's defense was very suspect last year. They would give up leads. That was the biggest thing for Miami. Is like Miami would jump out on teams and their defense would relax and let teams come back. So if they get up early, can Bryce Young pull that team up and allow them to? Because Rhett Lashley knows how to put up points, man. For whatever reason, he's been out there putting up points, right? So I'm going to pick Bama. I don't know if they cover though. So I've got Bama winning the game, though.
Right.
I like Bama. I think Miami, they're missing some pieces on defense. They're not going to be, what was it, like 3 years ago where they were getting hella turnovers and they had the chain.
Turnover chain,
Yeah, this ain't that. It wasn't it last year. It's not that this year. But, okay, so we know Bama lost a lot on offense, right? But wide receivers, they actually had plenty. They got Michi back. They actually had a wide receiver transferring from Ohio State who's stacked. The talent at wide receiver won't be there. We know Bryce Young is young and he's inexperienced. And I don't think Bill O'Brien is as good a play caller as Sark is. But I think their defense is actually going to be better instead of just hanging on to the offense like it did last year. And because De'Aaron King actually did not play in the spring because he tore his ACL in the bowl game. He's played in fall, but he is not running around dodging guys and playing that full. Not that they won't try to run him like that. They named him the starter. But he had not gone full go until very late in camp. So I don't think you can go out there halfway with Bama, man. Bama's going to win. You ain't going to scare them if you can't run it. You almost got to run it to beat them if their defense is good. So I don't think Miami's going to win this game.
I got Bama winning as well, but they do not cover. So let's get to the primetime game here. Georgia, Clemson. Talk to me. Ike, what you got, bro?
Yeah, so I don't believe in Georgia's offense. I'm going to pick Clemson to win this game. What's his name? JT Daniels. He's going to have to prove it to me. He's going to have to prove it to me this game. I don't see it happening. DJ Uiagalelei, I think I got it right.
Good job.
He looked good when he came in for Trevor Lawrence last year. Georgia's defense was I think a little overhyped. We made them look better than what they actually were for the remainder of that season. I don't know that they got particularly better. So I got Clemson winning the game.
I mean, Mike, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm going with Clemson on this one. I believe in Georgia's defense. I just don't know if they have enough offense. I don't know if they're going to produce enough offense against Clemson's defense to win this game. I'm with Ike on this one. JT Daniels is going to have to show it to me. And, by all accounts, he was like tier 2 or tier 1 on some people's list of returning quarterbacks. Sure. I don't see it, so I'm going with Clemson on this one.
B?
Same. You got to show me first. You telling me you got to trust somebody with offense? And Georgia's in the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
No. Clemson will win. yeah. You got to show me.
Here's another thing, too.
No longer there, Dr. Doom. He went to the NFL.
Here's another thing we need to keep mind of. Georgia has sustained a lot of injuries in fall camp, some to their wide receiving core, which they will need for this game. And if you're hyping up JT, who is he throwing to for real?
Right.
So that's a problem there. I like Clemson if they can play East or West because they got some questions along their line. I like Clemson there. So I think that's it for the SEC. I think we're at a good place here to take a quick pause. I'm interested to see how right we are. And again, I think we're going to do a better job of keeping score of how we predicted these games towards the end of the season. So, guys, we'll definitely keep y'all posted on how we're looking throughout. But in case you're wondering, man, you are watching the Wednesday Night War Room. Thanks again, everyone, for checking us out and spending time with us. Let's take some time to acknowledge our show sponsors.
The War Report's Wednesday Night War Room is brought to you by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn Sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. Our betting partner, BUSR. Bet with confidence at BUSR.com/report. University Ace Hardware, located at 2101 East University Drive in Auburn, Alabama, right across the street from the Auburn Mall and next to the movie theater. For all of your hardware needs, Ace is the place. And our giveaway sponsor, GWT2 Energy. If you want the best in the business at restaurant logistics, check out our friends at GWT2Energy.com.
Thank you guys for that. You got it, Mike?
Yeah. So again, shout out to all our sponsors, especially Auburn Sports, who is our title sponsor for this segment. We're going to be bringing you guys some information from them later. If you missed it at the top of the broadcast, we're giving away a mug. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments. I got 89 entries right now, so we're doing pretty good here at the halfway point. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments, and we're going to draw that at the 1 hour mark. We are officially we're helping the Lee County Humane Society raise money. If you've been watching us, you know this is the good that we've chosen to put back into the world. In lieu of super chats, we've asked you guys to go to our GoFundMe and drop a couple dollars there. 50 cents on every dollar goes to help the Lee County Humane Society in their mission to save animals. We want to help them achieve that. We did really well in the month of August. So in September, again, we want to raise at least $500 every month for the Lee County Humane Society so that we can keep them headed the right direction and saving puppies and kittens and all kinds of things. I'm looking forward to doing some events down there as we grow, but please help us out. You can find the link to this in the About section of our YouTube channel. Also in that same section of our YouTube channel, you can find the link to our merch store. I've been seeing the merch orders fly in recently, and you guys are getting your merch and sending us pictures of it. We appreciate that. This is a great way to support our content. And last but not least, you guys have asked for more War Report, and we're giving it to you on podcasts. You can go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to podcasts on, it's available. So subscribe there and get your War Report. This is a little bit more car friendly for a lot of you guys who said you wanted to listen to us on your way to work. I know the YouTube app can be a little cumbersome in the car, so we want you guys to be safe and listen to the War Report. Yeah. Subscribe on the podcast.
Let's get back to it, guys. Now, for what everyone has been waiting on, we are going to talk about our game Akron comes to Auburn. This will be the second time these two teams face off. Of course, the first meeting was back in 1988 when we blanked them 42-0. And Akron, a little information about them, went 1-5 last year, finishing last in the East Division of the MAC Conference. Few things to mention about them. We'll get into that. One thing that's interesting to note, one of our guys who will be relying on offense played there at Akron. Brandon Council transferred from Akron a few years back. So little interesting note there with the relationships between the two teams. But one of the biggest stories this year, or this week, I should say, came with the depth chart being released. So, guys, let's talk about the depth chart, and we can use that to talk about strengths on weaknesses regarding both teams. So let's look at the offensive side first. So we talked about the depth chart, and some of you guys were in the comments asking us what we thought about the depth chart, where we're about to give you our thoughts about this. The biggest surprise is Shedrick Jackson, of course, starting at wide receiver.
My man.
Shedrick Jackson. Wow.
Javaris Johnson is another starter at wide receiver. Robertson, who we've been hearing nothing but good things about in fall camp. Of course, Nix is the starting quarterback. Bigsby, no shocker there. Shanker is the starting tight end. Right tackle is Ham. Right guard is KJ Jones. Brahms is the center. Council, as I mentioned before, is the left guard. And Troxel is your left tackle. Your thoughts about this, Mike G, with the offense and the depth chart. I know we talked a little bit earlier, released today on Blackerby's podcast. You guys should check him out on Locked On Auburn, but kind of give your thoughts about the offensive side of this depth chart and surprises, good or positive, positive or negative. What are your thoughts?
Well, quarterback and running back, no surprises there. Shedrick Jackson is a head scratcher for me. Particularly over the guys that he's starting over. So that's got to be about scheme and assignment, I would assume, because it certainly isn't about talent, if you ask me. I know that he does look faster and quicker, in some respects, but there's just a long history there of untimely drops that I hope I'm going to trust the coaches here. If they're putting it out there, this has got to be about him being dependable. Other than that, along the offensive line, I'm going to be watching here. Nick Brahms is at the center of this. And then at left tackle, right, Troxel, the guy guarding Bo Nix's blind side, is going to be super important to keeping him in the pocket, especially if said quarterback is still feeling pressure that may or may not be there. So I'm going to be watching that left side of the line there to see, how they're doing. They tried a lot of very different combinations along the offensive line. And, just to be honest, in my opinion, we're not very deep. So if Brandon Council goes down, is it Jackson up, or are we doing the Cupid shuffle, trying to figure out what combination of guys work? So that's what I'm going to be watching here. They should be able to physically dominate Akron's defensive line, but we're not going to get beat because of athleticism. We're here, not along the line. It's going to be about assignments, busts, and understanding what to do and how they gelled, what kind of cohesion they have as a unit. So I'm looking at this, man, and I'm looking at that offensive line and hoping that they made some kind of miracle jump this offseason into game one. And if it's not all the way together game one, they've got a couple games to try to pull it together, I think. But I just want to see some competency there.
B, what are your thoughts, man, with the depth chart?
I'm with Mike. I was confused by Shedrick because he has had drops. He's had drops since he's been here. He's had drops in scrimmages in camp. So it's not like he just had a lights out fall and that's what got the confidence from the coaches. Like, no, he's had drops in camp. So this has to be about run blocking. It has to be.
Yeah.
And that tells me that coming out the gate, they're gonna pound the rock. That's what this is. They're gonna set the tone. They want to bully people. They want to push them out the way, down the field. They'll probably just go up and down, ball control. And I think they do some of that with this lineup. That's what this lineup tells me. Because they don't have what seem to be the most dynamic tight end out there. Like that's another thing. Like Schenker, like I get it. He's old. He's dependable. Shedrick, he's older. He's dependable run blocking, right? Well, I mean, but that's in our heads. I think we expected something different. We expected, I want the best passing tight end out there. I wanted two of them out there. And we may still see that. We're just going by the depth chart. But I'm a little confused by that, by Shedrick and by Schenker being first. But I understand why that's the case. So other than that, nothing too surprising. We all knew Bo was going to start. That's not surprising. The offensive line, and this is something I didn't really notice until I saw the actual depth chart with their classification by it. Like 7 of our 10 offensive linemen are seniors.
Yeah.
We're going to have enough. Like going next year, we got 3 offensive linemen if nobody wants to take that extra COVID year.
Yep.
Like the cupboard is bare, and that doesn't have any bearing on this game, but man, they got to get somebody else in here, man. But yeah, Auburn brought a lot.
Ike, your thoughts on anything stand out to you on this depth chart? We talked about it a few weeks back, but anything stand out to you?
I mean, I think there's a little bit too much ado about nothing with the Shed Jackson thing, just because, that doesn't mean everybody else isn't going to get quality reps out there. We could go 4 wide at any given time. I think they're going to be rotating guys in and out. If he worked the hardest in the spring, let him go out there and get his due. This is his last year that he'll probably be playing football at Auburn. And so I don't think he has that additional year of eligibility that he could come back. But even if he does, I don't know. But hey, listen, I want him to go out there and succeed. Forget everything I've said about him prior to this year. It's a brand new year.
Forget what
I want to see him. No, I'm saying, listen, it's a new year. I want to see him go out and succeed this year. Until I see him repeat the same mistakes, then I want to have him go out there and do a really great job. Outside of that, I don't think anything else on this is surprising to me. This is about where I wanted or I expected starters to be along the offensive line. Quarterback, no surprise. Running back, no surprise. Tight end, a little surprising, but when we talked about this previously, Schenker is kind of that utility tight end that can do a little bit of everything. So I think what this indicates to me is something that both Mike and B Will have already hinted on. We're going to be running the ball, right? And so our offense is going to be tailored towards being able to be strong up front, run the ball down people's throats. We're going to play from under center. We're going to do a lot of play action. And so you want the guys out there, let's be clear. I don't think that Elisha Canyon's a great run blocker. So he maybe he can't get more reps. And that's really what's kept Shedrick Jackson in the starting lineup for years. It's just his ability to be physical and run block. So he doesn't come off of the field. It's an encouraging sign to see Robertson come in and immediately say, all right, cool, I can do all of this stuff too. He's been at Georgia. So of course he's had to run block a lot because they can't throw the ball. Colby Hudson, though he's a physical receiver, he's just in a position where there's a guy who's a little bit more adept at doing the things that he does at that position in front of him. So I think the offense is basically telling you, or the starting lineup is telling you, we intend to come out and run. Right. And we're going to do that. And hopefully we can balance that out effectively with enough of a pass game to make it look interesting offensively and not be, I don't want to come to the halftime show upset. Is all I'm saying. Is it
to
the halftime show upset?
Let me give y'all some numbers. Since we talked about the depth chart, we kind of given our thoughts about the offensive side of the ball. Last year, just talking about Akron's defense, they ranked 120. They ranked in the bottom of the FBS in several defensive statistical categories. They ranked 123rd in total defense. They gave up 41 points a game last year. They were 120th in run defense. They gave up almost 250 yards to teams on the ground. They were decent in passing yards allowed, but I mean, you're able to run as well as teams were, who needs to throw the ball. And they ranked 125th on third down defense, allowing teams to complete their third downs at 53%. If you're Brian Harsin and you're Mike Bobo, how much passing are we expecting really in this game, with knowing how porous Akron can be along the defensive line, given the personnel we have going into this game?
I don't anticipate. Listen, you can listen to my take on this. In fact, I expect us to run the ball. Listen, I know everybody. It's 2021, and everybody wants to see people sling the ball up and down the field, and they want to see these dynamic offenses putting up 60 points in the game and all that. I don't care how many points we score as long as we win. Choke the clock out and get the W and get the F off the field. That's all I really care about. Y'all can have all these passing records that you want to, and you can wish that Bo Nix breaks every record in the record. I don't care about none of that. W's is all I'm concerned about. For all I care, they can run the ball 60 times in the first half. W. Get on the bus and go home. That's all I care about.
B, talk to me, man. What are your thoughts about how this offense will look on Saturday?
We're going to run it consistently because it's not just the quarterbacks that need work. The offensive linemen need work. They need work in this blocking scheme. They need reps for the basics of the offense. So everybody's going to get some work. And I don't think we're just going to see one quarterback. If we're up 28,
for sure.
I don't think the plan is for us to see one. I think we're going to see one, like more than one quarterback early in this game. That's not a slight against who's starting at quarterback. Yeah. I just think the plan coming in is they're going to put more than one quarterback on the field and let them get work with the first team offense against an inferior opponent.
Exactly. Well, everybody's going to get work. This is an extended part of fall camp. This is another scrimmage. It's dressed and its fans are there, but they're going to put guys in there so they can execute the offense. They're going to know that they can do whatever they want. And they're going to tell Bo Nix, this is your base call. Do what I said and expect him to audible to a better call. Everything that should be going on between the center and the quarterback and the wide receivers reading the defense saying, hey, I'm going to go in that spot. And the quarterback being able to know based on what he saw in the defense, I know where you're going, and them not getting mixed up and result in a pick. That is what the coaches want to see. So we're going to see both quarterbacks do it. There is no chance that this game is competitive. If it is, then I might quit the War Report because I don't even know what we're doing. If we're not up by 4 possessions at halftime, then I am sad and I won't be on the halftime show. I'll just be crying. That'll be it. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you cry, B. That'll be.
I don't think I've ever seen me cry either.
Talk to me, Mike G. What are your thoughts on the offense and how we'll look this upcoming Saturday, man?
I'm just trying to process all that, right? So here's the deal. I'm looking for balance and some semblance of what we're going to be for the rest of the season. You need to be able to move the ball through the air on Akron, right? So execution, if they throw, 15 times in this game, I expect, 13 of the 15 to be well executed pass plays. But if we have to run the ball out of necessity to win, it might not matter against Akron, but it's a good indication that W's may be far and few between for the rest of the season. Because if you are one-dimensional and you're not figuring out whether you can pass the ball effectively through the air until Penn State, we got no chance at Penn State, right? If you're just figuring that out going into SEC play, I just don't. I think the teams in our conference are just too talented, right? So, in my book, I want to go out there. I want to see them pass the ball some. And now, as far as the ratio is concerned, maybe like 35-65.
Yeah, I'd be happy with a 35-65.
35-65.
I want us to look a lot like Texas A&M's offense last year.
Yeah,
throw when you have to.
Yeah,
and be competent in those times that you have to throw, but otherwise run it down their throats.
Well, yeah, I don't think we need to go out there and sling it around, but I want to see enough of the pass game to get a feel for whether some chemistry has developed between the quarterback and the receivers. I think that a lot of these receivers have worked their ass off this fall to go out there and make a difference. I don't want to go out there and watch them block in game one. I don't think they want to go out there and just block. I think they want to go out there.
No receiver wants to just go out there and block.
Well, right. So, dude, I don't want to see an offensive that's 80% run. I don't want to see us be that run heavy. I just want to see some semblance of balance in this game, right? You can't do it against Akron. How are you going to do it against anybody else, right? I mean, I don't know.
I think there's a difference between ineptitude and a game plan that says we're going to run the ball a lot. Like you're leaning towards we're not able to, so we don't. I'm saying I don't care whether we can or not. It doesn't prove anything that you can throw the ball against Akron. It proves something if you can't throw it against them, but it proves absolutely nothing to be able to throw the ball all over the field.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think for an offense that's been missing time, wait. I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. For an offense that has been much maligned, and we have not been able to even trust that the wide receiver. We've been talking about routes and them just run and go routes. I think that it does matter for them to go out there and do some of the stuff that they actually practiced to see if it works, to apply it. It does different things. It does tell you something. You're saying it doesn't tell you anything. I'm telling you it does tell you something. If you can go out there and do it against lesser competition, you should be able to do it at a high rate. If you try it and you're
arguing a different thing than what I'm saying.
No, you're arguing something I'm not even saying. I'm saying that you're saying that it doesn't matter. You're saying that it doesn't matter what they can do against Akron. Is that not what you just said?
Listening to what I'm saying.
What did you just say? What did you just say?
Okay, what I just said was it doesn't matter if you can sling it all over the field against Akron. So that's different than let me repeat what I said so we can be on the same page again. Number one, don't care how much we throw the ball. We should be able to, when we throw the ball, do it with some proficiency. That's all I said. Now, again, the argument that you're making is that I said that we can't be inept against. I actually said the exact opposite. We should not see ineptitude in the passing game against Akron. What I did say conversely is being able to throw the ball all over the field against Akron proves nothing. That doesn't prove that we can do it against better competition. Conversely, though, if we can't do that against Akron, that is a bad sign. So again, you're arguing against something I never said.
Yeah, but how are we going to know that if they don't go out there and at least attempt it?
Because you didn't say don't throw the ball at all in the game. No,
hold on, guys.
You're saying that you don't care how much we throw.
How much? Right. Yes.
Well, you have to throw it a requisite amount for it to matter.
What's the requisite amount for you?
You have to throw it. You're saying it doesn't matter how much we throw it, and you don't care. I'm telling you, I care how much. I care how much we throw it. Because
okay,
if you
so
don't
again,
I already said 65-35. I already said 65-35.
And I agree with that when you said it. So why?
But then in the same breath, but you contradict yourself in the same breath when you say you don't care how much it matters. It does, and it doesn't matter.
Not at all.
Doesn't matter. It does matter.
That's not a contradiction. That's just you wanting to say some stuff that I'm
let me tell you something. Brian Harsin, everything we do matters. Everything this team does matters. And so if they have and they go out there and if they
argue against yourself then.
And if they go out there and they run a version of this offense that does not display at least some kind of competency, right? With enough reps for them to be able to tell what they have. That matters. It matters to me. I care that they throw it at least the requisite amount. Because the W that you get against Akron isn't really going to matter. It's going to give you some idea of what you have in the future. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Right?
What are you hold on.
And I want to see what we got at quarterback. And I want to see what we have at quarterback. I want them to throw the ball enough for us to see what we got at quarterback.
Appreciate that, DJ Strick.
Missed that part of it.
DJ Strick, what up, man?
B Will, you got something before we do this drawing, because clearly we got to talk about defense after the fact. But we spent too much. Did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Mike is making a point that we need to see it, even if it's against lesser competition. I would say to Mike that we have lamented how we didn't get quality competition in practice before. But we know we're getting that now. And as much praise as he himself, Mike, has given the defense, I think they have somebody to go against in a much more controlled manner to see if the QBs have what they need. It doesn't need to be against Akron. They're going to play one of the best SEC defenses every week in practice, right? Wouldn't that be a great spot to test some of those passing?
Yeah, man, it's different. It's different when the lights are on. That's a non-point. It's different when the lights are on.
So now practice doesn't matter. You told me.
I didn't say it didn't matter. I said it's different when the lights are on in front of 90,000 people. It is. It's different when the lights are on in front of 90,000 people in a brand new system. In a brand new system. So, again, if they're doing it, then what we should see them pass at a high rate during this, at an effective rate during this game. Not that we're slinging it all over the field, but we should be able to execute our passing game at a high level against bad competition.
I like how you're saying the same thing I said, but
I really see enough of it. I just want to see enough of it. So it does matter how much we do it. You can't go out there and throw 10 passes and then tell me that we learned something from it.
I will say that I don't think they're going to ask those guys to throw 10 passes, especially if you're playing multiple quarterbacks. I do expect us to be throwing some. We will be majority run, obviously, but I do expect to see those guys get opportunity to throw.
Yeah, I just want to see balance. I just want to see balance in this game. So to me, it matters how much we run and how much we pass.
So now you're contradicting your 65-35. What is that's balanced?
Yeah, I mean, I think for this offense, that's balanced. Nobody's under any delusion that it's going to be 50-50 out there. Because they already said that, but it can't be completely out of whack. It can't be all run. I think 30
I agree with you when you said 35. Why are you still trying to argue something?
And 35% is the minimum in my book. Okay. It's the minimum in my book.
All right, guys.
I would love to see 50-50, and I would love to see 50-50.
Oh, now see again.
Ding, 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 bro. Ding, ding, ding.
I would love to see 50-50.
I just want you to make a coherent point.
I want us to acknowledge Corey Weber's post. I appreciate you, man. What's up with all this football talk? It's almost basketball season, Final Four 2022, and you left out an important point, Corey Weber.
Virginia
double dribble.
They did. I saw
that. That was your point to make, Corey. I'm disappointed in you, sir. Me, ye of the Tigers.
I love it when we're all here. It's 2021 season, baby. Let's go.
Listen, if Akron and Auburn can make us do this, y'all are in for a treat this year. Let me tell you that. It's time to draw, guys. Let's go ahead and do the drawing.
Hey, listen, we got 122 entries. Not bad, but there are over 300 people in here. So hashtag get your weight up. This is your last chance. We're not going to dilly-dally over this one this week. If you've been watching us, you know the drill. You got to get in here and get some merch. So I'm going to share this really quickly. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments. We're going to draw this and see what we do here. So anybody wants to get in one more time? Let me see it. 125. Can we get to 130 at least before I hit the draw button? 130. Oh, man, I see him. Taylor Hogan, I think you got in like 5 times, bro. Only one entry per. We're just going to stick at 125, 127. Yeah, okay, I'm hitting it. I'm rolling it. Who's it going to be this week? No repeat winners. No repeat winners. Isaac Cooper,
where are you?
Where are you? Listen, if you're in the comments, ask your fellow chat members. You got until the end of the broadcast to announce yourself, or we will redraw. So Isaac, shout us out in the comments. If you guys see Isaac and we miss him, just keep shouting his name until you get our attention.
It's not a repeat winner.
So people already. Y'all are hilarious, man.
Yeah. I got the spreadsheet. I got the spreadsheet now. Chase
Some people already talking about he gone.
Y'all hilarious, bro.
I was a trooper.
Anyway, yeah, Isaac, and guys, I'm gonna be checking the comments, make sure he comes through. So I'm gonna be moving on. So, all right, well let's pick up. Let's finish our preview, and let's talk about the defensive side of the ball as it matches up against Akron's offense, which we know very little of. There he goes.
Hey, Isaac, business at the War Report. Just email us, business at the War Report. We need your address so we can get that mug out to you.
Yeah, that's how you need to claim your prize. Just send us an email, business at the War Report. You see it there. So
Everybody like, I'm Isaac.
That's so funny.
well, let's talk about the defense. We pretty much talked about some of the guys that we felt. I mean, no changes along the front four. No changes really. I don't see any changes in the linebacker or the second level. Of course, they have the star position where Wooten will play there, depending on what the offense is doing. But some of the surprises, of course, we've already talked about the nickel with Donovan Kaufman. Pritchett won the cornerback position opposite of McCreary. Darius Knighton won the boundary safety position. Of course, we know Smoke Monday is a fixture along with McCreary at their respective positions. Any insight, thoughts? Talk to me, B. Will. Any thoughts about this outside of what we've discussed previously?
Nah, just Sean Miller. I mean, that still baffles me. I'm not surprised by really anything else. We heard good things about Kaufman, so knowing that he came in, he was Mason's guy. He worked his tail off, according to all reports. So that's not a surprise. McLean, Papo, that's not a surprise. Wooten, it's not a surprise. I mean, nobody else is a surprise. But yeah, Sean Miller, man, he was like, yeah, I'm coming here for 1 year, then I'm out of here. You the third string cornerback, bro? Oh, like that's I want to know what happened. I want to know if he got here too late. He just didn't adjust. Maybe he didn't get into the strength and conditioning program and didn't hit his metrics right there. And maybe it was a work ethic issue. I mean, that happens sometimes. Somebody comes from somewhere, they think a lot of themselves and they get broken down by wherever they're at. Like, hey, you gotta work. And I mean, that is also the reason we lost some people this offseason because they didn't like where they stood. So I don't know if that's it. I hope we don't lose him because I like the depth we have back there. But that's the only thing that sticks out at me. This looks great, man. I mean, we've heard so much about these guys this offseason, spring camp, fall camp. I cannot wait to see this unit not just get used, but when they start tinkering, when they throw stuff at teams who we think are all high octane and we hold them to some ungodly low point total. Can't wait for Ole Miss. Can't wait for Bama. Georgia can't really score no points. I don't care about that. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Mike, you talk to me, man. Your thoughts about this defense?
Listen, you guys already know how I feel about this defense. I think that they're going to go down as one of the greatest defenses we've ever watched at Auburn. I think that Sean Miller not winning a starting job underscores what kind of competition was happening in camp. Derek Mason, I'm excited about the scheme that he's bringing. We got two of the best tacklers in the country at the second level, McLean and Papo. Up front is where everyone has questions. We have not been able to generate a pass rush since Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown left. And now we picked up Big Tony Fair. I'd argue that was the most important pickup for us in the portal this offseason. To come in there, bring some experience, a big body to just plug up the middle. He was part of the 7th best third down defense in the country last year at UAB. So, he played a big role in that at nose. I'm looking forward to watching Tony Fair do work up there and then seeing if we can get some rush off the edge here. So I'm a little surprised that who was the kid that we picked up from Tennessee, the freshman?
Moses?
No.
Dylan.
No,
Brooks.
Dylan Brooks.
I meant Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks. I think that I was excited about that pickup. You got a 5-star linebacker that's coming over, and he didn't crack this lineup, which is actually encouraging. That we've got enough talent here that a guy like that is going to sit his first year, have some time to develop. But I think it speaks a lot to the talent. Now, I predicted a shutout for this game because I think once you get to the 2 deep, there's still a ton of talent on this defense. I don't see any holes. I really don't. I think that they're going to play well on Saturday. They're going to give us a chance to win. The only way they give up points is if we turn the ball over in our own territory. That's it. Right? These guys are going to be good. They're going to be fun to watch this year, especially if we can generate a pass rush. If Hall, Harris, Tony Fair, Wooden, Pegues, coming in to back up Fair, Moultrie, if those guys can just get in there and cause some havoc in the backfield, pick six city, man, they're going to have lots of fun at linebacker and in the secondary. I'm looking forward to watching these guys have a ton of fun this year, playing football and just playing it fast. It's going to be a great year for them on that side of the ball.
Ike, talk to me, man. What are your thoughts about this depth chart on the defensive side?
I mean, there's not a ton of surprises considering we, seen some of this stuff already. Y'all can hear my son is actually having a good time in the background. So, I mean, what I think is going to be interesting to see is just how we rotate along the defensive line. I'm very interested to see how that's going to be. And then how we rotate in defensive backfield. Like, what kind of things are we going to do to mix it up? We've heard the mad scientist stories coming out of camp about how they're just really interested in doing some different things defensively. I wonder how much of that stuff we show game one. I don't know that we do show a bunch of it because I don't think we should have to. But I do think it's going to be interesting just to see specifically that rotation of how players are brought in and out in different packages. So happy for our guy Pegues getting that too deep spot at the nose. So hopefully he goes out there and does work. Definitely looking forward to that.
That's encouraging. I was a little surprised at it, but I know I was hearing good things about Dre Butler. But hey, we're just more bodies, more guys that can play. So I'm excited about that. What are our thoughts about as we get into week one? How do we feel about this defense and what we're gonna actually see out of these guys? We've been hearing good things. They've been winning, of course, their fair share of battles, more than their fair share of battles in the scrimmages. But what do we expect to see from each individual level? I mean, are we expecting to see the quarterback running for his life because we actually have semblance of a pass rush? Are we expecting our corners and safeties to be ball hawks? What do you anticipate happening this upcoming Saturday against Akron? Talk to me, Ike.
I want to see their quarterback running for his life as often as possible. I want to see a pass rush return to Auburn, and I want to see it without having to blitz a ton. Listen, just go up there and beat the guy in front of you and make them regret that they made the trip. And then a bunch of stuff getting thrown up for grabs for some ball hawks on the back end because he's making poor decisions. I want to see that a lot. If they could turn the ball over multiple times, I will be very happy with what happens from this defensive output.
B?
Yeah, same. I want to see the quarterback with the jitters. I want him to drop back and make some ridiculous looking run away and throw it over my shoulder pass, because I want him to look as worried as DeAndre Francois was his last year at Florida State. I want him scared like that. That man had reason to be scared. He should sue Florida State for what he went through for 2 years behind that line. But that's what I want to see, because that's what we were missing. We couldn't get a pass rush for anything. We're sending linebackers and safeties and compromising our pass defense because Smedium Cat Bryant wasn't doing much for us. And we just nothing, man. Nothing. And you know what? But some of that is scheme as well, because Steele was just determined we're going to go man. So if we're going to go man and we're going to get pressure when we don't have defensive ends doing it, then we're just going to be compromised. We got to hope we get there. And in years where we didn't have Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson playing otherworldly, they did burn. That burned us in 2018. It burned us in 2020. So hopefully we have solved that problem. We know personnel-wise we've gotten better. Leota was the best pass rusher that Northwestern had, and we just got him. We got the best pass rusher off of a defense that handled us soundly. He beat us and then jumped on our bus. Was like, yeah, I'll go help y'all out. Great. And he's not even the best rusher we got. He's not even first team. The first guy out there is going to be Hall, who had been getting better a couple years in a row. And I want to see that. I expect that. I think Mike is right that we have a really good chance at a shutout for this. I am not absolutely convinced because I think we have the potential to turn the ball over with some miscues as we kind of still run training camp with this first game. But yeah, this shouldn't be a game. We should dominate, and I expect to see that.
Mike?
I think that the pass rush is going to be the difference between whether this defense is above average or just great. Being able to generate a pass rush is going to create a lot of opportunities for us defensively. I think that from an overall game standpoint, when we get into tighter games, that's going to matter. Some of our best offense is going to be our defense, right? Our defense flipping, field position. Our defense is scoring from time to time. Those opportunities that they're going to get during fall camp. We heard about some pick sixes, right? Game-changing plays in the SEC. When you're going up against top 25 opponents, literally what should be every other week. So in this one, I think that, good teams dominate weak competition, and you leave no doubt. The halftime speech for Akron should be, well, guys, we got 30 more minutes to go out there and get some stuff on tape to talk about Monday at practice, right? It should be a real hard, deflating halftime speech. The game should be over at halftime.
Yeah.
Right? Our defense should make sure that this game is over at halftime. And if they are actually going to score a point, it damn well better not be on our first team D. I want to see these guys go out there and take some pride. Take some pride in their work, and I want to see them respect the hard work that they put in all offseason. Work, hard work. That's all we heard, right? So some of these guys, they sweat, they bled, they left it all on the field in the spring and the summer and in the weight room. For a first-year head coach that came and asked them to trust him and give him everything they had. Now it's week one. Pay it off, man. Go out there, and it shouldn't matter whether Akron scores a point. This is one of the worst teams in the FBS. Take it personally. Crush these guys. Crush their will in the first half. They should not. They should not want to come out of the tunnel in the second half. That's how this defense needs to beat up Akron on Saturday. Right? And if they give up 1 point, you take one to the house just to spite them for kicking a field goal. Right? I want them to go out there, and I just want to feel like the players believe again. We talked to Alan Green. He said one of the reasons that they made a change is because there wasn't the hope around the program. And this defense has a chance to give us, even us as fans, some hope. I had not a lot of hope last year watching Auburn football. All my hope was gone by the first quarter of most of those games. Because even if we were in it, it was just the same old, same old. And if we won a big game, think about it. Going into this Iron Bowl last year, we all sat here and nobody with any good faith could pick Auburn, despite it being the Iron Bowl. I don't want to hear all that throughout the records crap. We didn't have a chance in that game. There should not be a single game that this team plays this year where we are not a threat to beat the team on the other side of the ball. If not, just on sheer effort and determination. Nobody should be sleepwalking on Auburn this year. Brian Harsin has to bring pride back to the locker room. So he started in the weight room, trying to get these guys to develop some kind of work ethic again, because that was clearly missing. He repeated it many times in a lot of different press conferences. Now the pride's got to be back. Take pride in all the hard work that you put in all offseason and go out there and whoop their ass and go celebrate. No chance. Auburn by 40. No points for Akron. 0. Shutout.
Yeah, what he said.
So, do we want to do the predictions now since Mike is gone?
All right, I've predicted that one since weeks ago.
So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the outcome of this game, B? What's the score?
I'm gonna say we get some short fields. Defense gets at least one score. We get some good reps with at least two quarterbacks, and we score 45 points to Akron's 3. 45-3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was going 48-3. Like if they score a point, it better only be if I don't want to see them even. The only reason an Akron player should be in an Auburn end zone is returning a kickoff and playing defense. That's it. Maybe you can run your route that deep if you want to run it from the 20-yard line all the way to the other end zone. But I will be very disappointed if they even cross our 50-yard line. I don't even want to see it, bro. Like, Akron they're bad. They're just not a good team. So there's no reason they should even look competent against any string of Auburn. First, second, third, does not matter. Should not look competent. If they score anything, it better be a long distance field goal. That's it.
Is it a shutout?
I gave him 3 points.
I didn't say 3. Okay. Yeah, I got 42-3. 42-3 for me. I'm giving them a field goal as well. And it'll come late in the second half. Once our main contributors on defense are resting. So trying to see. Yeah, I see 37-0. So we got some people who are believers that it's going to be a shutout. I see a 42-6, 56-0, 48-0. Someone has a pick six to make it 52-0.
Yeah, they should have a lot of short fields to work with offensively. That's how much I expect our defense to dominate this game. Right? They should be practicing their red zone offense for most of the game.
Grant Loy is going to throw a touchdown in this game. Grant Loy is going to throw a touchdown. That's how bad Akron is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm with it.
52.
Grant Loy. So he was at Bowling Green. So that means he's been haunting Akron
63-0
for years now.
31-10.
He will continue.
Grindworks 10 points. Man, I'll be so disappointed if they score a touchdown.
I just want to see the TV break if they score 10 points.
Yeah, man, there's going to be a lot of things to get broken if they score 10 points. I don't know. And to be clear, if one of our quarterbacks goes out and throws a pick six, in my book, that's still a shutout for the defense. The defense has to allow the score.
About that.
The defense has to allow the score, right? So I don't know how they officially record that in the record book.
And it's like
comes
first
back to
and
the
goal.
five. Right.
Defense still doesn't let him in the end zone.
Yeah, it's got to be they drove the ball down the field on our defense and kicked a field goal or scored a touchdown. None of this turnover. They got it. We gifted them yardage crap. And what's funny was I don't know how that works in terms of how they score on the stat sheet, right? Like, in terms of the defense's points allowed, if the score is 28-7 and their only points allowed were a pick six,
it's not on the defense then.
I hope they don't score that against the defense, right? So in terms of points allowed, it should be 0.
Right.
Yeah. So to clarify my shutout deal, it's a defensive shutout.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think that's fair because I have no control over what is going to happen on the offensive side. 0. Neither does the defense.
Now I meant to look this up, but I'm pretty sure some of our smart people in the comment section. When was the last time Auburn had a shutout? What was the last game Auburn pitched a shutout?
It wasn't the Gus Malzahn era.
Where's Walt? Walt's our resident historian. Walt and Wesley usually had a
they're usually good for that.
Yeah.
I will. You guys do this. I'll tell you.
So we usually didn't shut out anybody for the last 8. I can't think of a time.
Yeah, there were no shutouts in 2020. That's for sure.
Nah.
There were no shutouts.
I can't even remember the last time we had it. Yeah, definitely. If it was in the Gus Malzahn era, then like, what's that? Did they score in that Arkansas game? Yeah, they did.
It wasn't in 2019. It wasn't in 2019 either.
Blake Robinson said Alabama State in 2015.
Wow.
Okay.
I think he's
Somebody
right.
said
No, Liberty
against Samford.
Liberty Flames. The Liberty Flames in 2018, 53-0.
So
We
Samford
played the
was not
Liberty Flames.
2019 wasn't a shutout against Samford, because a couple of people said that in the comments.
No, let me see here. 2019. 2019 Samford. Yeah, 52-0. That was a
There we
shutout.
go. Okay. So we did have one.
Okay.
I stand corrected.
So it's been 2 years since we pitched a shutout.
And that was a Gus Malzahn team, so yeah.
Yeah, that defense, but that defense was championship level.
Yeah.
And that's what championship level teams should do to inferior opponents. That's all I'm saying, right? And I consider Akron to be that level of inferior.
They're worse.
So I expect our defense to go out and put up a goose egg.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with this, man, before we get out of here, because some of y'all have been mentioning it. I was going to stay away, but it's tomorrow. Who you got tomorrow, guys?
Oh man,
I want to bury the Gus Malzahn era, because that will be his first time coaching at a new school. We know he's not our coach anymore. I am thrilled about that. And I want to be spiteful, man. I just want to pick against them. Good luck with that 210-pound offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? That's what you wanted to do. That's why we was getting whooped up front for the last 4 years. But honestly, if Gus can do anything, isn't it a first year showing? Isn't that his thing? Arkansas State. Hell, Arkansas when he was the OC for McFadden and Company.
Yeah, he arguably has the second best returning QB in the country in Dylan Gabriel.
So he's got the talent.
So
man.
Boise's
got a better defense. Boise's got a better defense. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna give Gus the victory, man. UCF will win that game.
Reluctantly. I like he's still thinking. Mike, what you got?
So B raises an interesting point, right? We did a for the record on this. Boise State had the second best third down defense in the country last year. So I'm not proclaiming to know how their numbers in terms of turnover. But I have to believe that there's still some talent there defensively. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But out of pure spite, I'm going to go with Boise State. I'm going to go with Boise State. I think this is prime. This is different, man. Gus's stuff is on tape. And if he goes and he tries to do the same thing, I don't think that Boise is one of those super inferior teams you could just go out and do whatever you want against. I think you need to bring at least a decent game plan, and you need to have better athletes, or they could beat you. And so the quarterback that Harsin left there is not bad.
No, he's good.
Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah, so yeah,
That was the same guy who was playing in that FSU game a few years back.
Yeah,
Brockmeyer.
Bachmeyer. Yeah.
Brockmeyer,
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Boise in this one, but I'm definitely gonna watch. Where is that game being played?
ESPN.
It's in Orlando.
Yeah,
what channel? Yeah, it's on ESPN.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
So because it's a home game for UCF, what's the spread on this game?
It is currently UCF by 5.
Okay. That's about where I would expect that spread to sit. The only reason I'm going to pick this is because UCF is at home. If this had been a neutral site or an away game, there's no chance I would pick UCF in this game. But I am going to pick UCF, but I am super not confident in that. I think that when the athletes are comparable, then it's about coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't trust the coach at UCF enough to like be confident in a pick for them. But because it's at home, I'm going to stick with UCF winning that game.
Malzahn has proved that he can win at home. Some of his biggest wins have been at home.
Yeah, it's a new home. This is a new home, though. Like,
and with a really good quarterback, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go UCF begrudgingly, but it feels good to watch a Gus Malzahn coach team and have no anxiety about the outcome of this
Exactly.
game. Oh my goodness. I am that's what I'm looking forward to is to watch you be like, God, that was a bad call. And not be pissed. So that to me, that's a win for all Auburn fans. I think we win because of that. So
let me say this. I would not be shocked if Boise State wins this game. Just because like Boise,
I wouldn't be either.
Some scrub school, right? Like this isn't like they're going out and playing some little whatever. Like they're actually playing a team with talent. They haven't had a ton of time to put Gus Malzahn's system in place. Right. I don't know what UCF has defensively. Like, can they stop anybody? Like that's a whole other question, right? So like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if Boise wins this game just because I think from a talent standpoint, they can match up with them. Yeah. And Gus is the guy calling the plays, man. Like.
And Boise,
and Big Cat went down there, and he's about to start, so they can't be that talented along the defensive line.
Boise's new coach is Oregon's defensive coordinator, but he was at Boise previously, so he knows those guys. He knows their system.
Yeah, and he's a defensive guy. Is the guy up there now? He's no scrub. He was at Oregon doing his thing. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna be shocked to see him win. Literally, the only reason I'm picking them is because it's at home and because they have a dope quarterback. Outside of that, because again, we know what Gus can do with a dynamic quarterback that can run as well.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah, you think their receivers are going to be like, Coach, why are we running all these go routes this year? Like,
yes. No. They're not going.
We used to cut across the field every once in a while.
Mike, they're not going to know that till they get in the game.
Right, because in practice they ran a bunch of different routes in the game.
Right. It's going to hit them in the middle of the game. Like, you notice we've been running.
Yeah. We've been running 25 yards straight for the last 10 plays. I'm gonna be really interested to see what that.
Is that why we went and got so many track players to come play football because they just needed somebody who was good
straight
at
line
running
speed.
Straight line speed. That's what it was. Like he didn't. If they had to be able to stop, it wouldn't have been beneficial to him at all.
Oh man. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to that. Someone asked, will any one of us be at the game? I will actually be at the game, but I believe I have to be we're with the press, right?
Yeah,
so I won't be able to see the people in the seats we got. I won't be able to see you guys, but I will be down there observing firsthand of the game. So you will have these three guys doing the day game stuff. So they'll be animated. They'll be having fun. So listen, guys, this is it. It starts. You want to give a run through, Mike G, about what to expect on Saturday with us?
Hey, listen, first and foremost, become an insider. Our game day experience is going to be very insider friendly. So you want to become an insider. I saw a bunch of people becoming insiders during this segment. We want to continue that trend up until Saturday. So to keep our game day environment troll free, we've limited the comments to insiders only. And, I'm not promising what restrictions are going to be like in the future on our game day stuff. So become an insider so you can take advantage of that and also get into the ticket giveaway for Georgia State. As an insider, you get 3 automatic raffles into that raffle tickets into that giveaway. We'll give that away in a couple of weeks there. But congratulations to our winners so far. We've given away, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 sets of tickets already, and we have not even played a single game yet. So
2 for the Bama State game and 1 for Akron. So 3 sets of tickets so far.
Yeah, so we really appreciate you guys. We appreciate our community a whole lot. Just being here for us, it's a blessing to be able to give something back to you all. I want to just plug this one more time. A thank you to everyone who donated this month. We actually got a really big donation in our community that helped get us over halfway to our goal of $500 for the month. We want to keep this going. We want to put this good back into the world. There's no donation that's too small. You know, if it's $1, it makes a difference. And the power of community is that if everybody gave $1, we could do a lot of good in the world. So thank you to everybody who's been going to our GoFundMe to just help us in our mission to make sure that the War Report's karma stays good and that we're helping other people find joy in their lives by helping the Humane Society rescue animals and get them into good homes. I really appreciate everybody who's been doing that. And then last but not least, listen, our podcast is live, guys. We are bringing you the War Report in every way possible. Brian works really hard to get those Wednesday night war rooms down and up and ready for you guys. And as we begin to grow, we'll start to get more of our content out in podcast form. Right now, we're restricted to the Wednesday night war room because everybody's got day jobs. But once we hashtag get off these jobs, as Brian always says, we can get you more of that content. So your insider memberships, your GoFundMe donations, your merch store purchases, all that stuff helps us in our mission to be able to bring you more content every week. This is a very different game week experience that we're bringing from just last year. Now, we had like 10 subscribers last year during the season, but we went live every Wednesday, Friday. It's Wednesday and Saturday, right? That's it.
It's Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah, Wednesday and Saturday, right? And now we're coming at you guys. If you got, I saw a lot of you in the comments commenting on how many different segments that we got out. We did something as a thank you. For the record, is usually insider only. As the season approaches, we decided to release that so you guys could get a taste of some of that insider content. If you notice, I did not leave that live for everybody. A lot of it got turned back to insider, but we spend a lot of time producing these special segments, researching stats, and trying to bring you guys more information. Your insider memberships help fund that process. So we're releasing one more before the season starts. I expect to get a lot of hate for it, but we got one more for the record coming at you guys before the season starts on QB adjusted completion percentage. Check that out tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's going to premiere for everybody, be up for a few days, and then go back to insider only. So we appreciate our community. Thank you, everybody, for just being here with us. As the community grows, we want to stay connected to you. So please go to the About section of our YouTube channel and join our email list. When you guys win stuff and you're not on stream, our email list gives us a way to get in contact with you because all we know are YouTube handles. I've gone to extraordinary lengths to track some of you down to say you won something. So please go to that email list. There's 3 places you fill out your name, your YouTube handle, and your email address. And if you subscribe to the War Report, please check your email because you never know when you're going to hear from us saying that you won something. So thanks, everybody.
And you have been watching the Wednesday Night War Room, brought to you in partnership with, sponsored by our partners, auburnsports.com. Listen, if you need the latest regarding Auburn sports and Auburn athletics, updates and recruiting, be sure to drop in and check them out. They have great content and they keep you up to date throughout the week regarding all things Auburn. Shout outs to JG and those good fellas over there for that. Also, guys, you know what to do. Share this video on your social medias using hashtag Get Your Weight Up. Please like this video if you haven't already. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And also, you can find us out on social media on Twitter and IG at The War Report. We are TW Report on TikTok. Next time you see us is going to be game day, guys. We'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your week. But until then, War Eagle.
War Eagle.